Hi guys, and welcome back to Mummy Cooks Homemade, and this is a day in the life of my little kitchen. So, these are the onion and chive, I think. Can't remember. Onion and chive? Are they? Sure, someone will correct me in the comments anyway. Breakfast of Champions bagels dipped in butter. Broil function on the old air fryer. See what I mean? Just a tad a bit of butter on the old bagels. So that was breakfast. So I'm making well, first I'm just showing you that I'm using my newish tin rather than my big quiche tin. And as you know, I'm a pastry hater. So sorry guys, I'm still getting over COVID. I've still got a lingering chest issue. So if I can get away with using the already pre-rolled, I will do. Because I hate pastry. So it's simple as that. And for anyone that's new, yes I can make pastry, I just don't like to. So this is the pastry case for my sweet chili chicken quiche. There we are, just rip it off and throw a bit on the other side. That's how we like to do it. So the paper that came with the pastry, I'm just using that instead of using some more parchment, and that'll hold the baking beans. Always advise really blind baking your pastry, especially if you're going to put wet ingredients in like you do for a quiche. Otherwise you end up with a soggy bottom. So that was just a packet of chicken that Steve got, and we like sweet chili chicken. So I literally just put a load on and made what I needed. I am using my hand because I'm trying to not break it up as much as I can. I mean, some breakage is going to be inevitable, but whatever. If you've not tried it, sweet chili chicken quiche, try one. They're really, really nice. So obviously I'm adding in to my quiche chorizo. That's where we're going to turn into either a piece of bacon, a piece of chorizo, or some form of cheesecake in this house. We stick with what we like. So I'm just chunking it. While the pastry bakes, I'm just getting the stuff that I'm going to put in it ready. So I'm just cutting it into chunks. Red onion. Little baby tomatoes. It's just the work of minutes, to be honest. So it's a pot of cream, 300 mils. Although you don't need 300 mils, you can get away with about 250. There was a little bit left over. And because this pan's not as big as the other one, I don't think I used my usual 5 eggs. I might be proven wrong, I can't remember. I did use 3, not the 2 that you just seen. So I'm putting in parsley and chives. So it's 250ml of cream, 3 eggs, simple as that. Mozzarella. So the base is baked. I'm going to put some cheese at the bottom. And then we'll just go in with our chicken. Just make sure that there's a piece everywhere so that when you cut out a slice, everybody gets some. If you wanted to cook a chicken breast yourself and do that, you could. It was just as cheap, if not cheaper, to get this tray of chicken already cooked and sliced. So I'm putting the tomatoes on purpose with their cut side up. That's so that the quiche doesn't get soggy with the juice from the tomatoes. Excuse the sniffles and that, guys, I'm not too great. And anything you want to add into it, I mean, what I've put in, you don't have to put in. Whatever you want to put into it, put into it. You don't like the tomatoes or the red onions, put peppers in. Put whatever you like. See, there's a bit left in the bottom still. And I'm just going to go back on with some more cheese. Oh dear. I can't say I'm known for being delicate. There you go again, look. That's smoked paprika. And into the oven. Depending how long your oven takes for it to cook it. Mine took 30 minutes, and there it is. Beautiful. And you know what? Steve ate most of that. You don't get a look in this house. You gotta be quick. And there you go. Lovely jubbly. So now I'm just doing my chopping for my tea. Corned beef crisp bakes. So I used that half an onion that was left over from earlier with the quiche. I don't know why I shoved it in your face, but there's the corned beef. And I'm going to cut this into cubes because when I mix it in, I don't want it to just disintegrate. Can't get over the price of corned beef these days. Used to be really cheap. So obviously we need some potatoes as well. And I'm not going to boil these. What I'm going to do is put them into that jug there with the onion. And I'm going to microwave them. This way you're not adding in any extra moisture. Just do enough potatoes that you think will be enough to form patties. So I've microwaved them. Put some pepper in. fresh chives from the garden, whole grain mustard, don't worry if you don't like mustard. I don't like mustard, but you can't really tell that it's there, so. And you don't want this a puree either. Again, you want a little bit of texture. That bloody fly, you know, that's what I hate. One thing I really hate about summer, especially living out here surrounded by fields. Flies. Anyone else have the same problem? So I'm going to add in the corned beef. And just keep going until you've got it in. Remember to scrape off the bottom of that. Bottom of your masher. You see it's still a little bit chunky. We're not looking for puree here. And the last bit. I left these out on purpose because these are going to be the bigger pieces within the crisp bakes. Just use a knife and go through it. You see it's quite a firm mixture. Now I'm going to put in a good pinch of salt. So here I'm going to beat an egg, which I'm going to dip these crisp bakes into before I roll them in panko. Add a bit of parsley, gives it a nice little bit of colour. See, the crisp bakes I made were quite big. You could get about 8 out of this easily if you did standard size. I don't particularly do a lot of standard size in my house. As you can see, they are quite big. And just repeat until you've used up all your mixture. Oh, I've got more actually. I got 5 by the look of it. There you go. 5 whoppers there. And everything in this is cooked, so it's basically just baking it until it's crispy. I do love this air fryer. There we go, all done. Lovely. And we just had these, because it's got potato and it's got the meat in it, we just had this with some rabbit food. So, this is so quick and so yum. This is a Biscoff Traybake. So we've got some 175 grams, this is for the sponge, of Biscoff, which is going to be melted. Then you've got 200 grams of butter, 3 eggs, 200 grams of self-rising flour, that's my phone, and 175 grams of the brown sugar. And it's really, really easy. So just beat this butter until it's light and fluffy. Preheat your oven, gas mark 5. See, mine took 35 minutes to cook at gas 5. All ovens are different. Please check your own ovens. Yours might take a shorter amount of time, it might take a little bit longer. So I'm adding in my sugar. The original recipe is for light brown sugar, but I do prefer the taste you get from dark brown, so that's why I'm using dark brown sugar. And I'm just whipping this together, making sure it's nice and fluffy. Scrape down. You don't want chunks of butter or unmixed butter as well in your cake batter. And let it go again. I'll put the recipe in the description box below. So that's the Biscoff that you've seen. All I've done is whizzed it in the microwave for 20 seconds. And it becomes liquid. See, this tray bake could not be easier. Now, you're going to add your eggs one at a time, incorporate them before you add the next one. So the size tin is either a 20 centimeter round tin or 20 cent. It was meant to be a tray bake, so a 20 centimeter square tin. So that's it. Keep going with them eggs. And now I'm going to go in my flour. And we're just going to make sure everything's incorporated properly. Scrape it down and let it go again. And there's your batter, all done. You can use a hand mixer, you can use a wooden spoon, a hand whisk, it's entirely up to you. But just make sure you get the butter and sugar nice and fluffy. So I'm putting it into my lined tin. And this rises quite well, so make sure you have got a nice little deep tin. And it's a really, really nice soft sponge. So into the oven. Don't worry about the crack on the top, it's going to be covered. So you can see it's nice and soft and springy. And now buttercream. Softened butter, icing sugar, and a little bit of Biscoff. And this is for the frosting. So for the buttercream frosting, you want 150 grams of softened room temperature butter. Don't melt it. 30 grams of just slightly melted Biscoff spread, and then 300 grams of icing sugar. Just make sure this is mixed really well. My kids absolutely loved this. And you're just mixing this in until it's well incorporated, and there is your frosting, your buttercream. Just make sure you don't put it on the cake until the cake is cold. There it is, nice and fluffy. That's essentially the cake finished, guys. It is that easy. And there I delicately plopped it out, as I like to do. Make sure you get all of that out. And this is a good layer of frosting on this. Just spread it out to the edges, and then I pop this into the fridge to set up. There comes a finger called Steve, and as soon as it went in his gob, he was like, "Oh, is that Biscoff?" Like, yes dear. There it is. That's what I mean. You get a good layer of the frosting, and it is such a nice textured cake. Corner piece. And there you go. And that was the day in the life of my kitchen. Hope you enjoyed. First one in a while. Don't forget to hit the thumbs up, like, comment, subscribe, turn on your post notifications, and chat to me in the comment section. And I'll see you later. Bye.